A few months ago, my typical workday looked like complete chaos. I had 20 tabs open. Half-finished documents everywhere. Notes I forgot to organize. Emails waiting for replies. Videos stuck in editing. And somehow, there was never enough time. Every day felt like I was busy for hours but barely moving forward. And the worst part? Most of the work wasn't even difficult. It was repetitive. Researching. Rewriting. Summarizing. Formatting. Organizing information. Doing the same tasks over and over again. I thought that was normal. Until I discovered one AI tool that completely changed how I work. And no, this isn't one of those exaggerated, AI makes you rich overnight, videos. This is about something much more practical. Saving time. Because once I started using AI properly, I realized something terrifying. A huge percentage of modern work can already be automated. Not perfectly. Not completely. But enough to save hours every single week. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. The tool I started using was ChatGPT. Now before you click away thinking, everyone already knows ChatGPT, most people are using it completely wrong. They ask it random questions. Maybe generate a quick email. Maybe summarize something once in a while. But that's surface level use. The real power starts when you use AI as a workflow system instead of just a chatbot. That's when everything changes. For example, let's say you need to create a YouTube video. Normally, the process looks something like this. First, you research the topic. Then you collect notes from different websites. Then organize the information. Then write the script. Then rewrite the boring parts. Then create titles. Then descriptions. Then thumbnails. Then social media clips. And suddenly, 5 hours disappear. Now watch what happens with AI. Instead of manually doing everything step by step, I give the AI one detailed prompt. I ask it to research the topic. Structure the information. Create an outline. Write a first draft. Generate title ideas. And even suggest visuals. Within minutes, I already have a usable foundation. Not a perfect final product. But instead of starting from 0, I'm starting from 80%. That changes everything. And this applies to almost every type of work. Writers use AI to brainstorm articles. Students use it to summarize research papers. Business owners use it to automate customer support. Content creators use it to generate scripts and ideas. Marketers use it to write campaigns. Programmers use it to debug code. Even people with regular office jobs are using AI to automate spreadsheets, reports, and emails. The reason this feels so powerful is because AI eliminates what I call blank page energy. Starting is usually the hardest part. But AI removes that friction instantly. Instead of staring at an empty screen thinking, how do I even begin this? You suddenly have structure. Momentum. Direction. And momentum is everything. One of the biggest misconceptions about AI is that it replaces creativity. But honestly, for most people, it actually unlocks creativity. Because when repetitive work disappears, your brain has more space for better ideas. You spend less time formatting documents, and more time thinking strategically. Less time rewriting sentences, and more time improving the message. Less time organizing information, and more time making decisions. That's the real shift happening right now. AI isn't just speeding things up. It's changing what humans focus on. And once I realized that, my entire workflow changed. Here's a real example. Before AI, writing a video script like this would take me hours. I'd research for too long, overthink every sentence, rewrite the intro 10 times, and constantly switch between tabs looking for information. Now, I start with AI-generated structure. Then I edit, refine, add personality, improve pacing, add storytelling. The AI handles the heavy lifting. I handle the human layer. That combination is insanely powerful. And honestly, this is where a lot of people misunderstand AI. The people getting the best results are not the ones blindly copying whatever AI writes. They're the people who collaborate with it. Think of AI like an assistant. A very fast assistant. It can generate ideas instantly, organize information, handle repetitive tasks. But you still guide the direction. You still make the final decisions. You still add taste, judgment, and creativity. And those things matter more than ever. Because as AI-generated content becomes more common, human quality becomes more valuable. Anyone can generate words. But not everyone can create something engaging. That's why the best creators aren't afraid of AI. They're using it aggressively. And the productivity difference is becoming impossible to ignore. Some people are now doing in one day what used to take an entire week. Small teams are producing content like giant companies. Solo creators are running multiple businesses at once. And automation is becoming the new competitive advantage. But there's another side to this conversation people don't talk about enough. The emotional impact. Because saving time changes more than your schedule. It changes your energy. Before AI, I constantly felt mentally overloaded. Too many tasks. Too much context switching. Too much repetitive work. And repetitive work drains you in a very specific way. Not because it's hard. Because it's exhausting without being meaningful. But once automation started removing those repetitive layers, work felt lighter, cleaner, faster. I could focus on the parts one actually enjoyed. Ideas, storytelling, strategy, creativity. That's when I realized something important. Most people don't actually hate work. They hate friction. And AI removes friction. That's why this technology feels so disruptive. Because it's not just another app. It fundamentally changes how humans interact with work itself. And we're still incredibly early. Right now, most people are only using maybe 5% of what AI tools can actually do. But eventually, AI assistants will become part of almost every workflow on Earth. Students will use them. Companies will use them. Creators will use them. Employees will use them. Entrepreneurs will use them. And the people who learn these tools early will have a massive advantage. Not because AI is magic, but because leverage matters. If one person can suddenly produce the output of 5 people, that changes industries completely. And honestly, we're already seeing it happen. The scary part isn't that AI is coming someday. It's already here, quietly reshaping how modern work gets done. So if you're still avoiding AI because you think it's overhyped, you're probably underestimating how fast this shift is happening. Because the people using AI effectively are moving faster every month. They're learning faster, creating faster, testing ideas faster, and speed compounds. Now, does this mean AI is perfect? Definitely not. Sometimes it gives wrong information. Sometimes the writing feels robotic. Sometimes the outputs need major editing. But even with imperfections, the time savings are enormous. And the tools are improving unbelievably fast. That's what makes this moment feel so important. We are watching the early stages of a technology that will completely reshape productivity. Just like the internet changed communication, AI is changing execution. And the people who adapt early usually benefit the most. So here's the biggest lesson I learned after using AI every day: don't think of AI as a replacement for humans. Think of it as an amplifier. It amplifies speed, ideas, output, learning, creativity, productivity. And when used correctly, it gives ordinary people capabilities that used to require entire teams. That's why one AI tool replaced 5 hours of work for me, not because it magically did everything perfectly, but because it removed the slowest, most repetitive parts of the process. And once those disappear, you realize how much time you are actually wasting. The future of work won't belong to people who ignore AI. It will belong to people who learn how to work with it. Because AI won't replace you. But someone using AI probably can.